NASCAR racing legend Dale Earnhardt famously said that life is a never-ending battle of making your cars better and trying to better yourself. At WION Pitstop, we agree with what Mr. Dale says and try and do our part in helping you along this perpetual journey. We have an action-packed episode for you this time around with cars, bikes and even an off-roader. I'm Snig Pontial and I'll be taking you along this week's episode of WION Pitstop. And next up, we have our first segment, the Power Bulletin, where we bring you all the auto updates from across the globe. Last week, India witnessed 2 Porsches getting launched in the country, and this time around, it's the Italian supercar manufacturer Lamborghini that's turned its attention to the Indian shore.
"2017 looks like the year of car launches, especially in India. Lamborghini recently launched Huracan RWD Spider, and now the Italian car maker is ready for its second launch in India with Aventador S. The new Aventador signifies the new generation with exterior developments, while its profile remains clearly that of an Aventador. To achieve maximum aerodynamic efficiency, the Model S now features new front bumper, rear bumper, diffusers and air intakers. The power of the car remains the same, with 6.5-litre V12 engine. However, the engine has been mated to a 7-speed single-clutch gearbox which powers all 4 wheels and propels it from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 2.9 seconds with a top speed of 350 km per hour. An interesting and added feature on the Model S is the Ego Drive mode, which lets you customize the steering, suspension and engine settings individually, which is an addition to Strada, Sport, and Corsa modes. Not to forget, the car also comes with ceramic disc brakes. The Lamborghini Aventador S will be seen on Indian roads after March 3rd of this year and is likely to be priced around 5.5 crore.
Now, don't we all get excited when there's a new bike in town? It especially puts a smile on our faces if it's a sports bike. And KTM just took the excitement to another level by launching 4 bikes of the KTM range.
Austrian bike maker KTM launched the updated 2017 version of Duke series, the 390 and the 200 in the Indian market. The Duke 200 was launched at a price of Rs 1.43 lakh, while the Duke 390 cost Rs 2.25 lakh. There was a surprise launch of Duke 252 priced at 1.73 lakh. While engine and power output remains the same, there is 10 kg increase in dry weight of the new Duke 390. This is owing to the entirely new exhaust system to meet the emission norm. Capacity of the fuel tank has been increased by 2.4 litres to 13.4 litres.
For the customer who wants the everything that KTM has to offer in the range that's in India, the 390 Duke is there, and this is something which it allows a customer to step into the brand.
The striking feature of Duke 390 is the segment-first multicolor TFT display. The display bars also change color on the 5-inch screen when the engine is revved. However, the major upgrade is the industry-first mobile connectivity on the Duke 390. A smartphone can be tethered to the bike, giving full control over incoming calls and an audio player. The information can be accessed on the display unit. The Duke 200 also gets the same styling updates as the Duke 390. The new bike gets a brighter orange theme compared to the outgoing model. Unlike the 390, the Duke 200 does not get a color display.
Unlike the RC, which is a very focused product because it's meant primarily for the track and it's a proper super sport styled bike. Unlike the RC, the Duke is much more broad-based. You can take it to the track and you can use it for a daily commute. You can tour also with that. So it's much more broad-based, and as a result, the 200 Duke is an entry-level product which captures the essence of what KTM has to offer without it being very specialized.
The launch clearly sent across a message on how keen KTM is on going big in India. With KTM selling more than 36,000 units in India last year, India is all set to become the biggest market for KTM globally.
And there's some good news for all the Volkswagen lovers out there. The German car manufacturer is all set to launch its sports utility vehicle Tiguan and an all-new version of their luxury sedan Passat this year.
The German auto giant Volkswagen announced its product line for this year in India for the most awaited sports utility vehicles Tiguan and the luxury sedan Passat. The Tiguan launched in 2007. It is a 5-seat SUV and the new model sports a 2.0-liter engine mated to a 7-speed DSG gearbox. With the looks of it, it makes it identical to the Audi Q3 with a ground clearance of 170mm. It'll also boost a number of safety features which will make its way to the Indian model as well. Volkswagen has not announced the official launch date of Tiguan, but it might launch around April this year. The basic model of Tiguan will start from 25 lakh and top, and all-wheel drive could ask for up to rupees 35 lakh. The next lineup for India by Volkswagen this year is the luxury sedan Passat. The 2017 edition Passat will be powered with a 2.0-liter engine mated to a 6-speed DSG gearbox. As Indian market has been adopting safe cars, the new Passat comes with 9 airbags, keeping passenger safety as the very top priority. The Indian launch is expected to take place in July this year. The price for the basic model will start at 23 lakh, and the all-new Passat is ready to take on cars like Skoda Superb, Honda Accord and Toyota Camry in the same price bracket.
Well, that's all that we had for you in the Power Bulletin, but don't go anywhere as we have a very interesting lineup of cars right after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Let's now head to our next segment, Spec Check. Now in this week's segment of Spec Check, we don't have a luxury car for you, nor do we have an exotic motorcycle, but we have two different cars that are also capable of off-roading. My friend Sejal got to test both the machines, and let's just say she had a unique experience and came out with quite a different perspective.
manufacturer in the world needs a flagship product to demonstrate its technology and design prowess to the world. And recent times have made it abundantly clear that the best way to do so is with an SUV. And a flagship is exactly what Tata Motors is going for with its new model Hexa. Hexa's bonnet is taller and more upright as compared to its contemporaries, with a clamshell opening squared off edges rather than soft round ones, and a nice hexagonal pattern on the upper and lower grills. The LED parking lights that poke out off the front bumper is a standout feature, and even the lining on the wheel arches looks elegant. With respect to looks, there's this really uncanny resemblance that the Tata Hexa has with the Aria, but that's just about it. You have to give it to the manufacturers, though, for putting in a lot of thought for bringing about a dramatic and boot style with good road presence. The dashboard design is so fresh you can barely associate it with any other Tata, and the fit and finish has taken a giant leap forward. There's a nice mix of glossy black and dark matte silver placed tastefully around the cabin, giving it an executive look. The interiors of this car are neat, classy and well put together. The car also gets a touchscreen system with 10 JBL and Harman speakers. The features of this car include cruise control, projector headlamps, reverse parking cameras and leather upholstery. The Hexa is powered either by a 2.2-litre Varico 400 or a 2.2-litre Varico 320 diesel engine. The Varico 400 develops 400 Nm of torque and 153 horsepower, while the Varico 320 churns out 320 Nm of torque and 147 horsepower. Sometimes at lower speeds, the power-assisted steering does come across as a bit heavy, but as you go higher on the speed, the drive starts feeling a lot more easier. The 19-inch wheels seem to have drastically altered the way this car drives, especially in terms of overall handling. All in all, this car comes across as a lot less vague than the Aria or even the Safari Storm. Built on a hydroformed ladder frame chassis, Tata Hexa's engine is mated to a new 6-speed manual gearbox offered in 4x2 and 4x4 versions, as well as with a 6-speed automatic transmission. The 4x4 variant is only available in the manual variant. One more good thing about the Hexa is that for a car with such high ground clearance, there's limited body roll and the car doesn't really feel that huge. The automatic transmission is amazing and even the downshifts feel buttery smooth. Okay, now if you ask me if you should be buying the Tata Hexa, I'd say there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't. It's big, it's spacious, it's agile and powerful. But the brightest jewel in Tata Hexa's crown is its pricing. With a base price of 13 lakh Indian rupees, Tata Hexa is the best product in this segment. Alright, we're here at the Off-Road Adventure Zone right outside of New Delhi. We're here to try a new multi-purpose vehicle called the Multix. It's a collaboration between Eicher and Polaris. Eicher, as you know, is the leading manufacturer of trucks across the world, and Polaris is a producer of off-roaders. It specializes in producing off-roaders. The Multix is a collaboration between these two companies to bring out a vehicle that is suitable for all terrains and especially targeted at the independent businessman who can lug around his raw materials, can seat a family of 5. This vehicle also can produce 3 kilowatts of electricity. Yes, it's a powerhouse and can be used as a generator. Sitting here in the Multix with the director and CEO of Eicher Polaris, Mr. Pankaj Dubey. Sir, tell us, what do I have in store? What do you have in store for me in this vehicle and on the obstacle track?
So this is targeted at independent businessmen who is actually looking at a product to solve his multiple usage. So a person who's targeted is basically using a two-wheeler maybe, or three-wheeler right now, or maybe even a four-wheeler, and then he uses, for his business, he uses some vehicle on hire. He uses some of the equipments like a generator or a tractor for some of the applications, and then instead of having all these vehicles, a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, hiring, he just buys this vehicle, and that serves his complete purpose. And that's why the name of the vehicle is Multix, because it multiplied by X of the unit whatever you want to do. This is meant for family, so you can carry the family like we are sitting out here. You can have 3 more people sitting in the back. And it is also for the business, where the rear portion of the vehicle, which is a box over there, where you can carry goods. The rear part, these 3 seats are collapsible, so the entire rear seats can be made into a volume of about 1918 liters of space.
Right, I'm all set. I have my safety belt on and I'm here inside the Multix. Right in front of me is a huge obstacle course that looks pretty scary. I've never driven a car with this much clearance, so I'm really excited about it. At the same time, I'm just a tad nervous because I don't know what's in store for me on the obstacle course. Let's go.
The Multix is powered by a 652cc single-cylinder diesel engine that produces about 12.47 horsepower and 37 Newton-meter of spin. The engine comes mated to a 4-speed manual gearbox which transmits the power to the rear wheels. In return, a mileage of around 28 km per litre is achievable, which is more or less worthy of a multi-utility vehicle.
Whoa, Sejal did manage to tame that monster, and quite a big one at that. Time now to slip into a short break, and on the other side, we tell you why dents or scratches on a car isn't really that big a deal. Next up, we have a new segment for you. Whenever you see an F1 race or even a cool bike on the road, you invariably associate it with the person driving it. Knowingly or unknowingly, you associate the automobile with the person who drives it. Now, while that might not be such a bad thing to do, there are many people who go into the making of an automobile. It might be the engineer who comes up with the design, or the mechanic who makes sure that the engine's running smooth, or even the guy who makes sure that the tires are at the perfect pressure. This new segment is about all these people, and let's take you there in a jiffy. Imagine you've bought your dream car or bike after saving for it for an insane amount of time. You buy it out of the showroom, take it out for a spin, and right when you're enjoying the luxury and the ride quality, an auto rickshaw bumps into it. Now, we all know how dents are. Even the smallest of dents can lead to a big hole in your pocket. But a group of IITians have come up with a revolutionary idea where you have to do absolutely nothing about the dent and literally just leave it up to them. Take a look.
core concept behind bumper is that if you have your car bumps anywhere, right? So right now you don't know where to go, what price it will take to fix the issue, whether to claim insurance or not. With bumper, we are trying to make it very easy that you just download our app, you will know where to go, how to send the car, what is the price that will be required to fix the damage. So essentially, your interaction with the garage, where typically you had to take a day off and go to the garage, that whole interaction is now virtual. One very important thing to understand about car accidental repairs is that it is not like teaching a cab driver to learn in a couple of weeks. So all the people working in the workshop are really skilled and they have to be backed by a lot of equipment. In India, typically either you have very big workshops or roadside mechanics. Big workshops charge you a bomb, but roadside mechanics, they are not trained or equipped with all these tools. So we spend heavily in training our team to use these equipments. For example, the paint booth, right? If you're painting the car in open, if you just go around the roads of Delhi, you'll see a lot of people doing that. On the face of it, the painting quality might look okay, but after some time, the drying might not be proper. And in India, there is so much dust. All those dust particles will be somewhere hidden. So that paint will after some time chip off or peel off. And those defects will start coming after a certain point of time. Car is one of your most prized possession, right? After the house. In fact, for anybody under 30, car is the biggest possession. They are still paying EMIs for their car. So you are okay with spending those 500,000 rupees extra for the tax, right? As long as the color remains the same or the quality remains the same. So we are trying to do that. So we are trying to fill in that space between your roadside mechanic and really big workshops. To put it very simply, we source all the paints, we source all the material, we're bringing on the labor, we standardize all the processes. So by controlling end-to-end process, we are bringing down the cost. We are not giving away any discounts. In fact, at every transaction level, we are profitable. At the same time, we are able to give a very, very fair cost to customer. We are never saying we are cheap. We are saying that we are the first company which is charging a fair price for what it should be. I was personally amused and worried that even my own car, if a body repair needs to be done, I still need to go to the workshop. And when I went to a couple of workshops, I had still no clue what is the fair price or the standardized price to fix that particular repair. Some very elementary questions like that a certain part needs to be replaced or repaired. How do I know what is the right answer? So there are so many questions unanswered, and for any working professional to take a day off to take his car to a workshop and haggle with those people and still not be confident that what he is getting is a fair price was extremely irritating for me. And I could imagine looking out on the road on Delhi and Bangalore streets with so many cars just going with scratches and dents, that so many more people would be frustrated by the same problem. And I think in the last 1 year we have seen that. In fact, one of the most interesting things is that we get a lot of cars with very minor damages, a single panel damage in technical terms, where just a door or just the bumper has a minor scratch. We fix that. The paint companies were actually asking us that, are you just selling our paint in the market? How are you getting so much demand? In investor terms, it's called offline to online. So whatever used to happen offline till now, we are creating a window for that online. So obviously the car is real, the work on the car will be happening offline. What is happening online is your interaction with the advisor or the workshop. So basically, as a car owner, you don't need to come out of your home. You can just sit at your home, know what you are paying, know how much time it will be taken, and be assured of the quality. You can go to our app. There are tools that we have spent a lot of time in building, where you can actually choose a certain panel, choose the type of damage, and know the exact price that you are going to pay. We are also cataloging all the part prices, which is a humongous task in India. For certain brands, after every 3 months, their bumper shape changes. So essentially, even if you know the year and the model, there are like 10 variants possible. So we are doing the complete cataloging of parts. So essentially, our virtual garage means that even in a normal garage, right, you go to the reception and a customer lounge and sit there. You don't actually go to the workshop floor, right? So fundamentally, we believed that a car owner in today's date doesn't want to go to workshop. He doesn't have time for that. The only reason some of the people want to go because they lack trust. They are not sure that this guy is going to charge me a fair price. And at certain local mechanics, they are not even sure that they'll get all the parts back. Some of the imported models, the parts are like extremely expensive. So it's they can't trust anybody with their cars. So in fact, most of our customers come through reference or organically. You can look at our Play Store reviews. The biggest brands in India have like really bad reviews online. We have been taking care of each and every customer personally. And the best part is the work that we are doing, people can see. We are not changing filters or changing oil. We are painting the car, removing dents, right? So when we give the car to the customer, they can see that a dent is removed, whether the color is matching or not. In fact, I mean, some of the customers for whom we repaint the whole car, I've personally gone for some of those drops. They don't believe that it is their old car. And that is a great moment for us as a consumer company when we hand over that car to the customer.
First thing I noticed about the service is that it really respects your time. So the experience of organizing the pickup itself is very smooth. So I just downloaded the app and everything was very clear in terms of, I could choose exactly what I wanted to get repaired. The prices were clearly called out, and with just a few clicks on the taps on the app, I could schedule the pickup. And that experience was fantastic. It took me less than 2 or 3 minutes. And once the car came back, I think that was the real happy moment for me while using the bumper. It came back as good as new. It smelled new, it looked new on the inside and the outside. And I just thought that I'm going to keep this car for a few more years. I was planning on selling it actually.
Well, that's all that we had for you in this week's episode of WION Pitstop. Do write to us. You can tweet to us at WION_Pitstop, like us on Facebook and YouTube. This week's episode of WION Pitstop comes to you from Eagle Rider in Gurgaon, India's best place for motorcycle rentals.